taken at certain level that will not necessarily will have been approved or agreed upon. For that reason, they will not be passing it to the general public. For example, now, a company is still discussing with the stock exchange, we are listing, we are not listing. A council member of the stock exchange will have access to such information. A company is planning to come to do primary market activity, either right, public offering, or any form of primary market activity. A council member of the stock exchange will have access to such information. What are they thinking at that level? Because again, it is the agreed and the concluded decisions that will now have to be publicized. But at the period, that thing is still cooking. And he knows that there are possibilities in this. A council member of the stock exchange can be private to such information. You might not. But other than that, you should know. So now that is why I said, as far as the market is concerned now, for you to get the best of it, you must of necessity have access to real-time information. Real-time information. As it is happening, there must be a platform. As a result is being released, there must be a prompting. What are the problems that we do have? Asaka, for the sake of argument, released a result, 1 for 1. The very day the result hit the market, some brokers made use of it. But you are there in your house sleeping. You do not know. A day, you don't even know until you begin to see it on the pages of newspaper. When you even begin to see it on the pages of newspaper, you cannot add 1 plus 1 together to get 2. Until your broker that has bought like 2-3 days before, you now call him. What do I buy? Go and buy Asaka. Why? Asaka declared 1 for 1 bonus. When? 3 days ago. Not 3 minutes ago. What was the price? As at the time the result was released, 10 naira. What is now the price as at the time you are calling? 13 naira. 3 naira. Very good to buy. You go and buy. Some people bought at 10 naira. You are buying at 13 naira. Then the stock suddenly got to maybe 16 naira and got tired. The person that bought it at 10 naira is selling. In fact, he can begin to sell at 14 so long as he sees that the price no longer moves the way it was consistently. And you are still there. Now you will wait until the stock gets to 12 naira, gets to 11 naira, now back to 10 naira, now 9 naira. You are waiting continues. You now say the market has not recovered. They are still calling the Obabolujo when will the market recover? The market that has since recovered. No, the market has recovered. It is true that I really do not know how to play the market. So you must have access to where real-time information obtains. Because until you have access to such real-time information, you are not going anywhere. Meanwhile, all those real-time information that you do not have access to, somebody in UK does, somebody in US does, somebody in Russia does, somebody in Germany does, and you are here in Nigeria, you do not know anything. So for you to get the best of this return, you must have access to real-time information. Real-time information. As the information is breaking, that is one. Number two, you should be able to make use of information. As a matter of fact, you must be able on your own to identify information. Alright? What do I mean by identifying information? It hits yesterday, or when was it, that Netbank is taking up or probably taking up 20% of Echo Bank. That is information. You should be able to identify that. The moment you get to see such, you ask yourself, how? 20%. of Ecobank. That is what? That automatically translates to what? Price appreciation for Ecobank. But many investors will just see it and they look away from it. You must be able to identify news you can use, information you can use. It was announced Transcorp won the bid for Ogeni power plant. As a matter of fact, before that alone, the fact that Tony Elumelu is the chairman of Transcorp alone is news for you. Go and buy. Just the fact that Tony Elumelu, forget about technical analysis here, forget about earnings here, forget about anything. The fact that Tony Elumelu is now the chairman of Transcorp, just go and do what? Buy and stay with it. And I said to people, I always came to my house, I said it might not be today, it might not be 2 years, but the fact that Tony Elumelu is there, not even the Ugeli power plant or anything, the fact that Tony is just the chairman of Transcorp. Transcorp will do what? Will do well. Why? Go and study the man's pedigree. Where he started from? He started from nowhere. Who knew Tony Elumelu in the system earlier than 1995? When he came and he started with Crystal Bank there and they changed it to Standard Trust, he said the man was not doing banking. He made the first attempt, it was not successful. Eventually, he came, a smaller Standard Trust bank took over a bigger UBA, and yet the man was not doing banking. Before he took over UBA, Zenith had left UBA, First Bank, Union Bank, all the rest of them. Why? Because we were always seeing losses, theft, and all the rest. You were always seeing this managing director, they went as far as going to visit Lumen to go and bring, what is his name? Arnold Ebe from Luke Okafor to all the rest of them. They were always changing. So all their peers and even younger financial institutions were leaving UBA behind. Their price was just there at $1 something. When they make profits this season, next season it is losses until Tony Elumelu came. The aggressiveness with which he was managing Standard Trust, he brought it. What did he do? He drove away all those old cargoes, old hands. He brought in his own people. The same UBA that was not in competition became, and the price rose proportionally. Then Sanusi came and said the guy has to go. So he left. The moment you got to see him in Transcorp, it's only a matter of time. Because the Transcorp we are talking about, you ask yourself before, why should even Transcorp come to Vitico? They still run the biggest hotel in this country, Transcorp Hilton. And from information that I know, even since they took over, every 3 months, Transcorp Hilton pays them dividend. So what has always happened to the dividend? The same Transcorp has oil blocks. So you only need a manager that is aggressive, and that was what Tony brought into it. When UBA splitted, and they said UBA Capital, if you are an investor in UBA, they now gave you shares proportionately to your holding in UBA, right, in all their previous or former subsidiaries, UBA Capital, Afriland Properties, African Prudential, and all the rest of them. And I said it back then, I said give to the Elumelu 5 years. And I'm still telling you, in another 5 years, if the name of Tony Elumelu does not appear as maybe the richest or the second richest or the third richest Nigerian, When you say me, don't call me Abayomi again, call me Aba. Because when you were busy looking away from UBA, Tonelumelu was accumulating UBA at one price, 1 naira 30 kobo, 1 naira 50 kobo. When they brought their earnings, Ambrose and I, instead of looking for money to go and buy, we were on which FM? Not Star FM. Radio 1. We were laughing. They couldn't even pay dividend. Anthony Lumelu was buying. He eventually acquired. So as I'm talking to you, he would be the largest shareholder in UBA, largest shareholder in UBA Capital, largest shareholder in Afriland Property, largest shareholder in African Prudential Register, largest investor in transport. By the time the prices of these equities move to 30 naira, 20 naira, what is it that Forbes use? Is it not the price multiplied by holding? When Dangote will only have Dangote sugar, and Dangote is holding in the cement is even lower now, and flour, this man will have about 5 or 6. And the cane again, transport, they did right. Who was going to buy the biggest of the rights? Most of the rights that majority of us here, I didn't take my right, because if I tell you the woe that betide me in transport, you just thank God for my life. When an investment of 180 million eventually became 5 million, I bought 20 million units at 9 naira, because when they did their public offering at 750, the market quotation was actually 971. So I bought at 9 naira from Union Capital. The commission element was outstanding. It was me now, no, they won't kill me. 4.something million naira. All we were thinking was, this stock, when it is listed, it will get to 20 naira. I will sell 20 million units, 400 million naira. It will not be difficult for me to remove 1.5 million naira this thing. I will pay you, and I can even come and dash everybody 20 million naira. And suddenly the price kept crashing. When it crashed to 50 kobo, and Sanusi Lamido took over the management of the CBN, they wrote me because the forces that were in Union Capital before changed. So the king that did not know Pharaoh eventually was installed. They wrote me I should come and pay my debt, otherwise they will begin to add interest. So I was faced with the tariff. Where did I now get 4.something million naira to pay? I did not. They went ahead and sold the stock. They got 10 million naira. Deducted their 4.5 million naira. And the commission on that 10 million they just sold. And then my driver went there to collect a check of 5.something million naira from 180 million naira investment. So the little one I see out there, when they were doing right, if you were me, will you buy? I won't buy. Because I was pissed. But my being pissed, did it change anything? So the rights that will have probably approached to somebody like me, I'm very sure that Tony will say, I beg, the one that Obabolujo Abayomi, he doesn't want to take his right, I beg, up till now, Tony Lumelu is still buying transport. Even outside of the market, they are ready to buy. But this information are shaking hands up, shaking your head. You didn't know. So tomorrow now, when you see transport moving, you call me, why is transport still moving? Can you now see what I'm trying to say? This has become an information-driven market. Now let me tell you, Ambrose is going to teach you technical analysis and all those things. Okay? Every form of system you use will have its strengths and limitations. Technical analysis alone will not give you money. You need to follow the information trend for even your technical analysis to make sense. The information must be key. You must understand when the information hits. Well ahead, I give you an example. when Sanusi Lamido just woke up one morning and decided to reduce cash reserve ratio, I came out and I told people, even at the workshop I do every morning in church, I said, all the banks, except one or two, and I made mention of IBTC, Stanbic IBTC, all of them will have lower than expected third quarter result. All of them. Why? Somebody even told me a week after that his analyst said that Fidelity is one of the most profitable banks in Nigeria. I said, I have not said Fidelity is not a profitable bank. But even my illiterate grandmother will tell you that Fidelity is operating with money from Anambra State government. And to further prove it, their immediate past deputy managing director is after governorship candidate. And Peter Obi, the current governor, was the former chairman and majority shareholder in Fidelity. Do you need an aid? No, can you now see how information comes now? Do you not need anybody to tell you that Fidelity Bank is running Anambra State government money? Now, when Sanusi Lamido came and he said 50% of such funds will have to go back to CBN, you can only retain. Shouldn't you know that a bank like Fidelity will have a reduction not only in their turnover but also in their profit after tax? He said the salary is there, and I said, okay, we will know who is the real analyst when the results eventually came out. And all of them, I said it back then that First Bank was going to be negatively affected. Because when it comes to FAC, you know they have two government accounts, FAC and I don't know the other one. I don't think there is a bank in Nigeria that will be able to mobilize more than First Bank. Now they can. In fact, AMCON money, 90% of AMCON money is deposited in First Bank. So if Sanusi Lamido, you know, he announced that AMCON was part of government money before, and he withdrew it. After a week, he came back to say no. If he has done that, if he has insisted, First Bank will have had on board. They will have seen where. Because the whole money will just be pulled off. Even the one that has been reduced, government money. That's why they couldn't release their third quarter when every other person's, other banks. Up to now, they have not released. They said they will release early December. What are they going to do? They are going to bring the audits. Why have they ever done audits third quarter before? That's to tell you that something was wrong. The falling was going to be very great. And because of that, in the process of auditing here and there, they will have brought in something here, they will have taken out something here. That is how to analyze information. What oil? Gerigo oil. Gerigo power station. Alright? So now, if you don't just read newspaper. I rarely buy newspaper. But if I get to your office and I see newspaper, I just read through. But I have picked out. So for as long as you are an investor, you must know that this information, as it is coming, will affect this industry. Will affect this industry. Will affect this company. And as it is affecting this industry, it is bound to affect this company more than this company. Later, no, 5 kobo. Then later to 10 kobo. Then later to 20 kobo. At that time, we were going about taking people to come and buy stock. It was 20 kobo up until 1997 when CSCS was introduced. And between then and now, it remained at 5 kobo. Now, The day the circuit breaker was moved from 5% to 10%, plus or minus, it further changed the face of the market. So if you were dwelling in the red where the market was moving 5%, forget about it. Because when the market was moving 5%, you see, this 10% circuit breaker alone is about 3-4 hours lecture. If I'm to talk about 10% circuit breaker alone, it will take me 3 to 4 hours. Breaking it down to pieces. And how best we can make use of it. Because the 10% circuit breaker brings our market closer to efficient market. Now, if a stock moves 10%, because again you have to do the compound calculation, 10% on Monday, 10% on Tuesday, 10% on Wednesday, 10% on Thursday, 10% on Friday. By Friday, it wouldn't have moved 50%. It will have moved plus or minus. The worst it can be is around 56%. But that is even one. You know, this 10% is not one way. It's both ways. In other words, you could see a stock open, closed yesterday at 10 naira. The stock can first open 10% below. 10% of 10 naira is 1 naira, right? The stock can open 9 naira and still come close 10% above, which is 11 naira. So which means there is a gap of 20% in a day. These are the realities, and you do not understand that. If you do, you are not taking part. You are not working on it. Now, what does that suggest? This is not the time for you to buy and hold. Is it not a mad fellow? You bought the stock 10%. You gain 20%. You gain 30%. Which business do you think you can do in Nigeria that will give you such returns within 3 days? It will take only a madman that will not sell part of it. Which means that this circuit breaker of a thing will increase market vacillation. It will increase market volatility. When your results, your information hits the market and it is so good, the rate at which adjust in the short term is what? More spontaneous now. Meanwhile, you are not talking about Nigerians alone. You are talking about Americans. You are talking about Europeans. You are talking about the global people. Can you now see? So when the man says to me, or says to me, hey, the market is this, moved 10%, 20%, and then the following week, it has to. It will adjust. Now, we saw potato oil moving consistently. Has it not started declining now? Why? Because it will not move forever. So, as people were joining, intermittently, some people will be exiting, taking their profit at interval, 20%, 10%, 15% at interval. Some people also will be joining, and then that is where technical analysis and some other tools will begin to come in to give you a sense of direction. Circuit breaker. Alright? If you don't understand it, it's an issue. So it is not the time for you to do what? To say, yes, this is an opportunity. I'm buying to hold. I've said it many times at my workshop that buying and hold is a waste of time, waste of energy. It is deadly. It is killing. As a matter of fact, it makes the investor a fool. I can prove myself anywhere. Daddy, for example, I told you I just said that I bought transport now at 9 naira. Now, who was a better fool if not me? I bought the thing at 9 naira. When it came to 7 naira, what did I say? I said, okay, I'm waiting to get back to 20 naira. When do I know it will ever get to 20 naira? When one woman even came that I bought for, let me sell. I said, don't sell, because this store, we must sell it at 20 naira. She said she needed money. I wrote a check, 5 million naira, go and lose. Can the woman ever pay me? Can she ever pay me the 5 million naira back? It's not possible, because when Wahala came, she eventually went to sell the same stock at 50 kobo. She sold at 50 kobo. Because I should have just allowed her to have sold her stock at 5 naira. I did not. Now when she sold at 50 kobo, how much did she realize? She lives in the same estate as me. I see her every day. When I ask her, where down my money? That one now home. I've written it up, bad debt. Will it not have been better for me to have sold that stock and take my loss? I have taught some things that were error. Investing like Warren Buffett. My name is Abayomi Obabolujo. Why do I want to invest like Warren Buffett? How do you invest like Warren Buffett? Don't sell below cost. What is his rule 2? Don't forget rule 1. If I have jettisoned Buffettology and do my Abayomi, and I said that's and I got to sell that store at 7 naira. No, let me even say I didn't sell at 7 naira and I sold at 5 naira. Even if I had sold at 3 naira, will it not have been better for me than selling at 50 kobo and the stock now remained another 2.5 years on that 50 kobo? Now, hello, please wait. This is not the season for you to do buy and hold. When you enter into an opportunity, and what you saw that made you to enter the opportunity are no longer prevailing, and you look at your tasks and they are not available, please do what? Sell. Don't Buffettology. Let him remain with that one. Now, who says that if Warren Buffett comes to invest in Nigeria, he will even make money because who told you will not lose? Who told you I'm not a better investor than him? Nobody is investing in America where there is corporate governance. Where is the corporate governance in Nigeria? He is investing in America where there is information, widespread information, where he can call the managing director of the company in the middle of the night, and the man will tell him what he's thinking, what he heard last night. When was the last time you have access to ask questions from any managing director? I was told that even shareholders that went to Dangote AGM the other time, the man began to lambast them. When shareholders will go and gather and be queuing in for puff and donuts. You get the point here? When our shareholders association member, president and coordinator will be financed and sponsored by quoted companies. Rubbish. This is not America. Anyway, if you are in America, you do as the Americans do. So when you are in Nigeria, you do as Nigerians do. This is not the era where you say, because now, when this stock ever comes below that level, you never can tell what will happen subsequently. So at any point in time, the best you will do is to cut your loss. To protect yourself. That is the truth. Then it also involves you making sure that you don't strike until you are crystal sure. Alright? You know that this is what is going to happen.